Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Splits here, and we're back with another NFL mock draft. Before I get into it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, we're getting into peak mock draft season right now. I'm going to be doing a lot of these over the next, few weeks and even couple months before the draft. So, again, make sure to subscribe and never miss a video. And let's go ahead and get on into it. So I'm going to say there are going to be trades in this draft. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and trade the very first pick by the Bears to the Houston Texans. Okay, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be questioning that. Like, why are they going to trade down one spot? Like, why are the Texans only going up one spot? The reason for this is because the Texans are really worried about the Colts jumping in there and getting their quarterback, I feel like both of these teams really want to get in there and get their quarterback, so it's going to be kind of a bidding war, and I feel like the Texans are ultimately going to win this. So, going to have the Bears give the number 1 pick, then the Texans are going to give number 2. Now, I know when it comes to the top, 5 picks or so, the value is absolutely insane. But I don't think we can give another first-round pick for this. Okay? I don't think we can do that. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the 65th overall pick and then pick 188. I think that's pretty realistic trade value, considering it is only one spot. Again, it's because it's in the top 5, and it's going to be because it's a bidding war, I feel like the Bears easily could, trade down again if they wanted, but we're going to go ahead and have the Texans trade up here. Says the trade was declined. Okay. Let's go ahead and try that again. Okay, so Texans going to... And I think, honestly, for this simulator, I think it's because the number 1 overall pick has so much value. So we'll go ahead and try... we'll try these 2 picks. Again, guys, this is only a 1-round mock, so don't pay too much attention to what we're actually giving up for it. Because again, I'm not a draft expert. Okay, I'm not gonna claim like I know everything about the draft. Okay, trade was declined. Okay, we're gonna try it one more time. We are going to send a first-round pick as well. Again, if it's just one spot, I don't think it's really going to require this. Okay, I just want this trade to go through. So we'll go ahead and do this, and that should go through. Are you kidding me? Okay, give me just a minute, guys, and I will go ahead and get the Texans number 1 overall pick. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Wait, I had to go ahead and have the Texans send way more value than they actually would in this situation. So again, don't pay attention to the actual compensation. But we're going to go ahead and have the Texans get their quarterback and get Bryce Young. Then the Bears are on the board here, and there's a couple things they could do. Okay, do the Bears want to maybe trade down again and maybe see if they can get a lot more value, or do they want to go ahead and take a top-tier guy like Will Anderson or Jalen Carter? You want to be careful about trading too far back because, there is a pretty big drop in talent if you trade too far back. So I think we're going to go ahead and just have the Bears go ahead and take Jalen Carter right here. Now right here, I feel like the Carolina Panthers are going to be thinking, man, we need to jump in there and get our quarterback, CJ Stroud, because, you look at number 4, the Colts are right there coming up, and I feel like they're looking at CJ Stroud as well. So we're going to go ahead and propose another trade. We're going to have the Panthers request to move up with the Cardinals, and we're going to send that pick, and next year's first for the third. And I feel like that's a pretty realistic trade. Okay, it said it was declined. Again, keep in mind, guys, don't read too much into the actual compensation. Okay, we'll try this, and we'll try a third next year as well. Okay, you know what? Just for the sake of sending it through, we're going to go absolutely crazy with the value. We're going to send a bunch of value over to them for it. So, again, guys, don't read too far into it. We just want this trade to go through. Okay. Okay, it's been accepted. Again, I think it's really just going to be this year's first and probably third, if I had to guess, and the next year's first. I feel like that's pretty realistic. Then the Panthers go ahead and get CJ Stroud. The Colts are on the board. And I think with this sort of situation, honestly, I feel like they're wanting to actually trade back a few spots now because they didn't get their, one of the top two quarterbacks. I feel like at this point they feel like they can get more draft value. So we're going to go ahead and see what else they can get. Trying to think who would be best right here. I'm going to go ahead and actually have the Detroit Lions try to trade up. I know this sounds crazy, but I think this would be a beautiful trade. Okay. Again, don't pay much attention to the compensation. We'll just do this to make it go through. But Colts trade back a little bit. Trade's been accepted. And the Lions go in and land Will Anderson. I think that would be absolutely insane move for the Lions. Okay. Now the Seahawks are on the board. And I think at this point they would have to be kind of looking at, I would say it's between Tyree Wilson and Myles Murphy. It really depends on which one you prefer. You could argue maybe even like Brian Bryce, to be honest. I think out of these guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and actually go Tyree Wilson. I think he fits what Seattle wants a lot better than Bryce. So then the Colts are on the board now. They're finally going to get their quarterback. And I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. I like Anthony Richardson more than Will Levis. Okay? I know a lot of people aren't going to like that. I really like Anthony Richardson. Who knows? Maybe the Colts could have traded back even further and still gotten him. But Richardson is a really good quarterback. And honestly, if the Colts can get the right coaching staff and develop Richardson really well, Richardson may, honestly, I think Richardson has the best potential in this draft. There's just a lot of boom or bust potential with him. The Raiders are on the board, and it sounds like they are really looking at. I want to say they were looking at Jimmy Garoppolo, if I'm not mistaken. I really wouldn't be mistaken, or I really wouldn't be surprised if they got him. There's also rumors that Aaron Rodgers may want to go there and reunite with Devontae Adams. So I'm not really going to go ahead and have them take a quarterback here. I'm going to go ahead and actually have them take Paris Johnson, rebuild the offensive line a little bit. Falcons on the board now. I don't think they go quarterback. I think they give Desmond Ridder at least a year first. And honestly, I think we go Miles Murphy right here. Cardinals now on the board. And honestly, I think the Cardinals are in a situation that they're probably going to trade DeAndre Hopkins. It sounds pretty likely at this point. And really, if that happens, I don't think the Cardinals receiving core is really going to be that great. So I think if we can add Quentin Johnston in there, I think it's going to be really good. Number 10, the Eagles are on the board, and that interior defensive line is getting pretty old. Fletcher Cox is getting old. Javon Hargrave, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's a free agent. I don't know if he's going to re-sign or not. We're going to go ahead and go with Brian Bryce. Even though he might not start his first year, he'll at least have Fletcher Cox that would be a really good mentor for him. They do also have Jordan Davis. So, once Cox and Hargrave are gone, that D-line is going to be absolutely ferocious for years to come. Titans now on the board, and I think we're going to go ahead and have them go with Jordan Addison. Go receiver, second year in a row. And I want to say right here, this 12th pick right here, this was actually the Texans, okay? I had to include this pick so I could get that trade earlier on with the number 1 and 2 pick to go through. So this number 12 pick, this is really going to represent the Texans. Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. So with that said, I think we're going to go ahead and go with, honestly, my number 1 corner in this draft is still Kelee Ringo. I really like Kelee Ringo. I know it's not the popular opinion. I think he's the best corner in the draft still. So I'm going to go with him. You pair him up with Derek Stingley, and I think that's going to be a really good secondary. Once again, that's for the Texans, not the Bears. Number 13, I'm going to be a little bit bold here, okay? In the situation that the Jets don't get Aaron Rodgers, I think they could really be looking for a quarterback. And if Will Levis falls into their lap, we're going to have them take him. So we're going to go Will Levis right here. Patriots on the board, we're going to go with Cam Smith. I think that's a really good fit there. Packers on the board, we're going to go... I'll be honest. I don't know, actually. I'm not in love with their linebacking core, so Trenton Simpson is definitely an option here. But I'm also kind of looking at both Peter Skoronski and Jackson Smith and Jigba, because they do need receiver help, and they could use some O-line help. But I think it might be a little bit of a reach to take Smith and Jigba right here. I think we consider it best player available sort of thing, and we'll go with Trenton Simpson. Washington is now on the board, and I'm going to go ahead and have them take a corner. Go ahead and have them take... Yeah, we'll go ahead and give them Joey Porter Jr. Steelers now on the board. I think to go ahead and take Peter Skoronski in this situation. Lions now on the board, and I'm going to go ahead and give them a good safety at the back of their defense, Brian Branch. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers now on the board. We're going to give them Bijan Robinson. I feel like that one's just kind of inevitable. Like, I feel like Robinson is a Buccaneer. Like, I don't know. It just feels like they've got to go with Robinson. Seahawks now on the board. And hold on, I got to look at who they got earlier. So they got Tyree Wilson. So they've got edge already. I think in this case, we'll go ahead and actually give them Christian Gonzalez. And the reason for that is you pair him up with Tariq Woolen, And you can have a really, really dangerous secondary for years to come. You know, you don't need to worry about finding a vet to be that number 2 guy. Like, that secondary's lockdown. 21, the Chargers are on the board, and I'm going to go ahead and give them... You know, I'm going to give them Jackson Smith and Jigba. Right now, they've got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, but they don't really have much beyond that. They really need some receiving help for Justin Herbert. 22, the Ravens are on the board. And I think we're going to go ahead and actually give them... We're going to give them Clark Phillips. I think Clark Phillips is very underrated, and I think he could fit the Ravens' scheme quite well, actually. Vikings on the board now, and I want to apologize. Last time I did a mock draft, I wasn't thinking, I couldn't, like, I didn't remember that the Vikings had TJ Hawkinson now and thought they still only had Irv Smith. So I gave them Michael Mayer last time. So I apologize for that. This time I'm going to go ahead and actually give them Isaiah Foskey, you know, help their pass rush out a little bit. You could also argue Antonio Johnson right here. I think Foskey's overall just the better player. But Jaguars on the board. I think we go ahead and improve that offensive line as much as we can. We'll give them Broderick Jones. Giants now on the board. I'm going to go and actually give them Osiris Torrance because they really need some interior O-line help. Cowboys on the board, and we give them... You know what? We're going to give them Josh Downs. They could really use some receiver help, actually. And Josh Downs is pretty underrated. Bills on the board, and we're going to give them Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's a really good pass-catching back. I don't know. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Alvin Kamara in a way. Maybe not quite as explosive or shifty, but very, very similar play style and has that really, really top-tier potential. The Bengals are now on the board, and there's really not any like great offensive linemen on the board right here, so I'm going to go ahead and go Siaki Ika, actually, from Baylor. Saints are now up. They got their first-round pick from the Broncos when the Broncos hired Sean Payton, so the Saints actually do have a first-rounder now. And I think we're going to go ahead and... You know, I think we go ahead and actually give them Darnell Washington. I'll be honest, I think he's probably going to be better than Michael Mayer. So we'll go Darnell Washington. Chiefs are now on the board. We'll go ahead and get... I'm going to get Antonio Johnson. Get some more safety help. Again, with the Chiefs, they really like to run a lot of like 3 safety looks. So even though you've got Justin Reed back there, they could still use some big safety help because they like running these 3 safety looks. Now the Eagles are finally on the board, and I think we kind of do a similar thing like we did earlier, and even though he's probably not going to start this year, you know, get some help in the secondary because, you know, James Bradbury's getting older, Darius Slay's getting older, and, you know, you get a guy like Devon Witherspoon, which that's who we're going to draft. You get a guy like that, and it's really going to... He's essentially going to have some really good mentors for years to come. And once Bradbury or Darius Slay, you know, for that matter, decide to retire, he's going to be ready, and that secondary is not going to miss a beat. So there you have it. There's my mock draft. Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. I know there were a lot of trades. I know not every fan's going to be happy with it. Again, I'm not claiming to be a draft expert. Before you comment anything angry, I'm not a draft expert. I'm just doing this for fun. So save your angry comments for another day. But again, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.